This is worthless.
It's less than worthless, my boy.
Greetings, fellow mortals. Just a reminder, saying it's just my opinion is for cowards. Lilo and Stitch. It's weird to think that the very first movie came out when I was Lilo's age, and now I am a grown-ass man talking about a family cartoon on the internet, and its live-action remake, to be fair. How times have changed. But what hasn't changed is how good the original film actually is. The movie, specifically the parts involving Nani and Lilo, are moving as a kid, but absolutely heartbreaking as you grow up and understand exactly what's happening, meaning my entire perspective on the situation changed as I grew older.
Who knows? This humiliation could change my entire outlook on life.
Really?
No.
Nani's desperation to stay with Lilo no matter what is the heart of the film. While weird alien sci-fi adds flavor to everything, the meaning of sticking with your family grounds the story in a way that's almost a little bit too real, considering that we're dealing with intergalactic politics of all things. Watching Nani struggles through the lens of an adult is gripping. An 18-year-old with no experience has to raise and support her little sister without any help whatsoever, all the while grieving her parents with her sister.
Hey, who left this bowl of onions here?
As the youngest of 5, I can't imagine being in Nani's position. At the same time, it's really easy to relate to the misfit Lilo as she adopts the dangerous experiment 626. The sisters' love and connection for each other, despite the hardships that they face, are what ultimately change Stitch and Jumba, proving that nurture can change nature and that the family you choose can be just as important, if not more, than the family which comes through blood.
What would you get out of here?
I actually think the movie is a bit underrated. The humor, the ability to show a multitude of different perspectives, and the theming hits home for various stages of life. Children, teenagers, and adults will view the perspectives differently based off their own life experiences. I've went from the age of Lilo to Nani and finally creeping up to their parents. I personally can't imagine dying and leaving my pets alone, let alone possible children, and I would want them to stay together instead of, having Nani chuck Lilo away so she can go study marine biology in California of all places.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
Oops, spoiler alert. Sorry, I guess I should have warned you about that, but now you don't have to go see the film and give it money that it doesn't deserve. I thought that the bomb that was Snow White was a sign of changing times, but nope, it's just because no one cares about Snow White and everyone loves Lilo and Stitch. Meanwhile, parents continue to throw their kids in front of almost anything that will distract them for a few short hours, even though the movie, the direct home sequel, and the entire cartoon series are right there. Seriously, you don't even have to get Disney Plus to watch them all.
Do what you want, 'cause a pirate is free. You are a pirate.
Every single change in the live-action movie makes it a worse version of Lilo and Stitch, from No Gantu to Jumba being a straight-up villain to Bubbles not being the social worker to the changes with David. It's just not as good, not as heartfelt, not as sincere, more sanitized, more washed out, more corporate. It's not irredeemable trash. I have, in fact, seen worse. It's the most 5 out of 10 experience in existence. But compared to the original, it's just plain awful. Kind of like Netflix May Cry. But then we're in the catch-22 position of the fact that no one would care about this version of the film if there wasn't nostalgia for the original. So it's impossible not to compare the films.
Trevor, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
At the very least, the live-action film made me go back and watch the original Lilo and Stitch and remember how good that movie actually was. Not only that, it caused me to go back and remember the entire franchise. Yes, If you weren't aware, there are a lot of follow-ups to the original Lilo and Stitch. There's Stitch Has a Glitch, there's the animated series, the movie at the end of the animated series, along with the follow-up anime. Yes, an anime of all things, from Japan. Is it any good? Well, no. I actually like it less than the live-action remake.
Oh, I made myself sad.
This isn't to say that everything that came after the original film is as great as the first movie. While I think of Lilo and Stitch as a masterpiece, the follow-ups are simply, good. Not bad, not great, simply good. Things make sense, character development continues, the premises are solid. They were certainly not completely phoned in, that's for sure, except the anime.
Hate, 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 hate. Double hate.
Loathe entirely.
The sequel film is definitely weaker than the animated series. As an artificial being who is not completely stabilized when he was created, Stitch is breaking down on a genetic level, while Lilo tries to honor her mother by following in her footsteps. There's also stupid stuff with David and Nani's relationship, but we don't talk about that one. I wouldn't say that any of this is insulting. Lilo mourning her mother is probably the best part, and it's easy to see her frustration with Stitch seemingly freaking out for no reason. The problem is that the entire situation could be easily fixed with proper communication, but this is a reformed evil scientist, a walking time bomb, and a little girl we're talking about, so it's fine, passable. It's a ham sandwich you eat at midnight because you ate your dinner a little bit too early and can't sleep without having something in your stomach.
Oh, I forgot how bad it looks.
I've seen worse.
Now, the animated series is actually surprisingly good. Stitch is number 626, right? So the show focuses on the remaining 625 experiments who start running wild across Hawaii. Lilo and Stitch work together to find his quote-unquote cousins, reform them like Stitch was, and find a place where they can use their abilities for good. And the scenario is fun. The different experiment abilities are interesting enough for a kid's cartoon, and there is an overarching narrative which leads to a conclusion in the movie.
Impressive. Very nice.
When I was a kid, it was definitely a show that I would watch whenever it was on. I wouldn't put it up there with, I don't know, Jackie Chan Adventures and Avatar The Last Airbender, but it was good. I remember being really interested in the different experiments and how they functioned, along with their names. They were cute. It's nothing groundbreaking, it's simplistic with a few interesting episodes in there. Believe it or not, there were crossovers with Recess, The Proud Family, Kim Possible, and American Dragon Jake Long, which leads to a lot of questions about the continuity between all of those series.
Take a look at this.
Jesus Christ,
That right there is the mail. Now let's talk about the mail. Can we talk about the mail, please, Mac? I'm dying to talk about the mail with you all day, okay?
And the show really doesn't have the grounded family aspect of Lilo's deceased parents from the original film, but as an episodic kids cartoon, it could have been a hell of a lot worse. I wouldn't say that this was phoned in at all, but then that leads to the anime, and I have to admit I'm biased against it because Lilo has gone off to college apparently and has all but abandoned Stitch, which just, I don't know, oh my god.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Yeah, premise ruined. Automatically don't like it. Sorry, not sorry. I have had a series of pets throughout my life, and for the deceased ones, I would be willing to cut off my own hand to get them back for like 5 minutes. And Stitch is much more than that to Lilo. I get the idea. New island, new little girl, Japaneseify it, yeah, but come on, Japan, you know what it's like to have your stuff stolen and changed into a worse version of itself. Don't do this, you're better than this.
Well, that sucks.
If I have to give anything to live action Lilo and Stitch, they at least got the connection between Lilo and Stitch correct. I'm not overly fond of real life children on film sets. it is an adult workplace. There are too many horror stories about it, but it was a story about a girl and her dog, so they didn't ruin absolutely everything. It's just that their quote-unquote attempts to fix things really only made things worse. Okay, Nani wants to study marine biology. I get that, but why send her mainland away from Lilo? There are colleges in Hawaii which are great for that, and there could be some intergalactic funds or something to help support Stitch and the family. Jeez Louise, this isn't that hard.
Oh, it's so obvious. I would have never thought of that.
But as always, the problem is trying to redo something that's already the best possible version of itself. You are never going to make a better version of Lilo and Stitch. If you have to do a live action version of it at all, why not do something different, something fun? A sequel set in the future maybe? Use real time to your advantage. Lilo would be my age right now. Prime age for being in the middle of starting her career, getting married, and possibly having children. Meanwhile, Stitch remains the exact same. He could feel insecure about his status in the family while everyone else, including his cousins, are moving on with their lives. Include everything other than the anime.
No, not you, Seamus. Ah, poo.
You could even have the antagonist be some type of moral space philosopher arguing against the council allowing the experiments to live at all. The debate could be that their existence is a crime in and of itself. Allowing them to live shows people across the galaxy that they can get away with crimes as long as politicians like them enough. What's to stop other people from conducting experiments and sending them to Earth? They're setting a dangerous precedent, and the philosopher will show them the problem by revealing the true nature of the 626 experiments. Or something like that. I don't know, I'm just spitballing here.
Brain surgery. Not exactly rocket science, is it?
Yeah, those are the ideas right off the top of my head. Would it be as good as the original? I mean, probably not, but it doesn't have to be. It's a reasonable story that is an excellent follow-up, something that makes sense, that adds to some aspect of the characters and the world, rather than just redoing something that's already perfect the way it is. There's a saying, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I mean, for the love of God, why not just re-show the movie in theaters if you have a bug up your ass? I mean, it works for other movies like Lord of the Rings and Star Wars, and it doesn't cost as much to do, so either do something new with the series or just replay the old stuff. I don't get it. There's a way to capitalize on name value and earn much more money for a much cheaper cost than doing whatever this is. I can't even bring myself to be angry. I'm just perplexed. Now I kind of want to see how things end at this point. I mean, Disney is going to run out of movies to adapt to live action eventually. What then? Start from scratch and do it all over again?
And over and over and over and over.
Okay, Clay, I get the point.
No, you don't!
In my Netflix May Cry video, I said that it broke me. And you know what? I remain broken. I just don't care that much anymore. Like Devil May Cry, this film will be forgotten about in a month. No one will care. We'll move on to the next distraction without anything new or interesting being said. You can like what you want. If you enjoy this, oh, I'm so glad for you. But I can't think of one way that the live action version is better than the original. If you can think of anything, make sure to tell me, along with if you remember those Lilo and Stitch sequels and the various different experiments. I'd love to hear your thoughts on all that. And remember, if you disagree with everything I have to say, that is perfectly fine. After all, everyone is entitled to their objectively wrong opinion.
Well, this sucks.
Thank you all so much for watching.
Still here?
Good night, everybody. Thank you. You bye. Boom.
Do not despair.